Shalom, shalom. That is a greeting of peace in Hebrew, and I welcome you back to my channel. I told you all I was gonna be back in the next video to talk about baby number 4, my pregnancy, and the birth story, and all of that. And here I am. So let's talk about it. Again, I have my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything and to make sure I get through this quickly and smoothly, because again, I don't want the video to be stretched out too long. So in the last video, I talked about how in the last video when I talked about my life update, I talked about how the decision to have baby number 4 was to try for a girl. And so it was some things that was happening. I wanted to be done at 3, and I thought I was done, but then I'm like, ooh, I'm hearing all these things about a girl. I'm like, it might be time to try for a girl. And so what really did it for me was it was someone a part of our ministry, a dear daughter of ours, a dear friend of ours. She made a comment about it's about time for that girl. So when she said that, I was like, okay, maybe she's on to something. And so that, and then plus like everything else, all this talk about a girl and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, I knew I've always wanted a girl. I wanted a daughter. But after having the 3 boys, it was just kind of like, okay, because I am not a fan of pregnancy. I've never been a fan of pregnancy. I wasn't a fan of pregnancy before I was ever pregnant. I would see other pregnant women and would just be like, oh, no, that does not look fun. So I'm going to try to prolong this as much as I can. And so, yeah, I was 30 when I had my first baby. I was 29. Same thing. I was 29. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, maybe we should try for a girl, because we try again, it might be a girl this time. This is the time we may have a girl. So, of course, had a conversation with my husband, and, we were like, all right, let's go for it. And so we tried for a girl, and we found out that we were pregnant, and that was exciting, but we wasn't telling anybody. We don't ever tell anybody. Like after, well, pretty much, we don't ever tell anybody until, we don't tell anybody until after the first trimester anyway, all because of those first 2 losses. Because that was really hard. That was really tough, because you don't know any better. I didn't know any better. And I didn't know why it was like a rule. You're not supposed to tell anybody that you're pregnant before the first trimester. And so it didn't click for me until my first pregnancy. And I'm telling everybody that I'm expecting and all of this stuff and so excited. And then we lost that baby. And so then having to go back and tell everybody there's no baby anymore. That was hard. That was tough. And then the second time around, so it was like, okay, yes, so this can't happen 2 times in a row. Yes, we are expecting again. Yay. I'm kind of scared, but yay. And then another loss. So then it was like, you know what? No, we're not telling anybody until we get through that first trimester. And so yeah, so with AJ, I think with AJ, baby number 1, and and baby number 2. Because I don't even remember how far along I was when I even announced it on YouTube. But yeah, we didn't know until later what the gender was for Amari, for number 2. Because we announced that on Facebook. Like, we did a Facebook Live to announce, to do his gender reveal. But the ones after that, we didn't tell anybody until we knew the gender. So we didn't tell anybody that we were even expecting until we knew whether we were having a boy or a girl. That way we can just go ahead and say, yeah, it's a boy. Yeah. And so this time around, it was the same thing. So we didn't tell anybody until we got to the point that we knew the gender. So it was like 14, 15, like between 15, 16 weeks when we actually told anybody that we were even expecting. So that way we can go ahead and say, and it's a boy. My intent, of course, obviously was for it to be a girl. I was hoping for a girl. So we found out that we were expecting. So it was like, yay, it's happening. Yay, we're gonna have that girl. And so because we didn't tell anybody before we knew the gender, something terrible did happen. And it was the person that basically gave that last comment about what I mentioned earlier when she said, it's about time for that girl. So I was excited to have a girl and to tell her and let her know we're gonna have a girl. We having that girl. And but what happened was, before we even told anybody that we were even expecting, she got really sick and she passed away suddenly. And that was so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, y'all. I'm about to cry right now. But that was so heartbreaking because it was so unexpected. And I had this thing in my head, in my mind, that, okay, she's not going anywhere. I did. Because I remember one time she shared something about it was either a dream that she had, or it was a vision, a dream. It may have been a dream. And when she shared that, I was like, oh yeah, she's not going anywhere. We're going to have her for a while. And, man, y'all, I was not expecting that. And so, yeah, so what made it even more heart-wrenching and heartbreaking was, it was like, I didn't even get to tell her that we were even expecting. Regardless of the fact that whether we knew what the gender was, not whether we knew it was a boy or a girl, I never got to tell her that we was expecting. And so that was sad. But that her saying those words, how I look at it is her saying those words, and it encouraged, trying for that girl. And then that's how we ended up with Azario. And so I look at it as, it all still played well, where we got Azario. Azario is such a precious little boy. He is so precious. And she would have loved him too. Oh my gosh, she would have loved him. And he would have loved her. Oh man, how can you not love her? And so anyway, so that was the encouragement with trying for a girl. And by the time we found out what we were having, we found out over the phone. The doctor's office called to give me, my lab results and all of that stuff. And with the lab results, they can tell, for the most part, what the gender of the baby is going to be. And so the nurse, because she's a trip anyway, the nurse was like, do you want me to tell you what you're having? And I was like, yes, please. And she started laughing and she said, you having another boy. And I was like, what? Another boy? And I was like, I don't know. It was like I got hit with a ton of bricks. Like, wait, so I'm going to have 4 of them? 4 boys. Oh, this is a lot of boys. And so I had to have some time to like process all of that. And then the fact that, y'all, I was on Pinterest. Like, I was on Pinterest and had like a million baby girl things saved. Baby girl, like baby shower, girl baby shower stuff, ideas, all saved on my Pinterest. Like, I had a whole board just for baby girl. And so now it was like, I'm not having a girl. I'm not going to be a mother of a girl. I'm not going to have a daughter. I'm going to only have sons. And I was so prepared for, I'm about to cry again, y'all. But I was so prepared for a baby girl. I was so prepared for a daughter. And I'm not. And so I cried. I had a moment. It wasn't a long moment. Like, I took a bubble bath and I cried throughout that bubble bath. And then after that, I got myself together. So I cried to mourn that I wasn't having a daughter. But then I did that, got that out of my system, and then it was okay. I've always said that I wanted at least 3 children, no more than 4. So I'm like, because I really did not want to have more than 4. After going through these pregnancies, y'all, I really did not. I was like, yeah, 4 was a great a great stopping point, because I'm like, yeah, I'm done, because I am done after this. And so then it was okay, so I'm having another boy, a baby boy. That's gonna be my baby, because he's gonna be my last one. So this is gonna be my baby. This is my baby right here. Because it was like the other ones, they had somebody else that was like they were really attached to. Like someone else that was like, oh, that's my baby right there. That's my buddy right there. So I'm like, no, this one right here, this one is mine. This one is mine. Like, they're all my babies. But this one's going to be attached to me. And so, yeah. So I went through all of that. And so then that's when since we knew the gender, then we announced the pregnancy and the gender to everybody else. And so I, of course, shared it with family. And then on Facebook, I shared with everyone else with a picture. And So with that, you know, hey, we're having another baby, and this time it is another boy. So baby boy number 4 is on his way. And he was due in October. I do remember that because I was like, oh, he's gonna have an October birthday with me because I'm October 31st. And so I don't remember what the due date was for him. I just remember it was October. None of my boys come on their due dates. They all have basically come like well before their due date. Like if they were due in a certain month, they come in the previous month. AJ was the only one that went past, so he was due like February 8th or 9th, and yeah, he came on the 16th. Anyway, so then we announced it to everyone, you know, was all excited and stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, so there's no need for a baby shower. We didn't do a baby shower for Amir. I just did or did we do a baby shower? Maybe we did. I feel like we did do a baby shower for Amir. But this time, yeah, I was like, no. Because, I mean, I got all these boy clothes, all these boy baby clothes and stuff. I got everything. The only thing is just some diapers and wipes. I was trying to tell people I do cloth diapers, but ain't nobody get me no cloth diapers. So, and guess what? I ended up not using cloth diapers like that anyway because of all this stuff with moving. House up for sale and everything. Yeah. So we had the house on the market. Yeah, while I was pregnant, or was it after I gave birth? I don't know. But we were preparing to be on the market and stuff. And so just it was just a lot of stuff that, you know, it was just like it's a lot of stuff going on. So I wasn't really in the mindset to cloth diaper anyway. It just became so convenient to just grab a diaper, change it, toss it in the diaper pail. Let's keep it moving. So that was that. That was my reaction with that and all of that. So then going further along into the pregnancy, I reached third trimester. I probably, just thinking about it right now, I probably didn't contribute to this very well. But yeah, I ended up with preeclampsia again. So my blood pressure was like sky high. And but throughout my pregnancy, I didn't really do much. Like I stayed in my room and ate snacks and watched TV. That's what I did. So I feel like that did not help. That did not contribute very well at all. And so I get preeclampsia again. And so my doctor is like, okay, we're going to have to go ahead and schedule an induction. We're going to schedule it for right when you are full term. So right when you turn full term, we're going to go ahead and induce because, yeah. So then there was another issue. It was the baby's position. And also I was dealing with diastasis recti. And as y'all may remember, if you do go back and watch the previous pregnancy and birth story videos, you know that I have diastasis recti. So my ab muscles are like separated completely. And so it's like with each pregnancy it gets worse. But anyway, so there was the concern about the baby's position because he was sideways. So instead of him being face down, he was sideways. So then the doctor was like, okay, so blood pressure is high, and if he doesn't get into the right position, we're gonna have to do a C-section. At this point, I don't even want an induction anymore. I had an induction with AJ, baby number 1. I had an induction with baby number 2, Amari. I had an induction with baby number 3, Amir. I didn't want an induction this time. I actually really wanted to try to give just a natural birth. I've always wanted to do a home birth, but because of all this high risk stuff, I had to be careful with that. And so I'm like, well, the closest thing I can do is have a natural birth without all the injections and the shots and the the medicines and all of that stuff, the needles. Just give birth. Like, my body was built for this. Let me just do it. And so I was really starting to be on edge. Like, I didn't want anybody touching me, like in the hospital. Like, I didn't want anybody touching me. I didn't want anybody telling me about my body and what I need to do and all that stuff, because I'm just like, y'all, I already know what it is that I want to do, but y'all won't let me do what it is that I want to do. Y'all won't let me do what my body knows to do. But of course, yes, I got a situation going on. Blood pressure high. So I got to be careful and stuff. And so I'm trying to, trying to make things go as smoothly as possible. So I get the induction schedule. As we get closer to it, we get to the weekend of it. And then the hospital calls and say, hey, we are so backed up, we're going to have to push your induction back to the next day. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So, because I understand. Because whenever I had to go in to do the non-stress test and all that stuff, because yes, I was back doing the non-stress test every week and all that stuff again. And so, yeah, they would be backed up. And so I'm like, I get it. Yeah, that's fine. And so what I didn't want, though, was I didn't want to go through the induction. I didn't want to go through it in the first place. So my husband and I, we would like go for walks around the neighborhood, like just walk the neighborhood, because I wanted to go into labor naturally. I wanted my water to break and I go into labor naturally, and I do the breathing and all that stuff. And then we grab the bags and we're timing the kicks and not the kicks, but timing the contractions and all of that. And then like, oh, it's time to head to the hospital. Let's go. And then we get there and then, and then start the pushing process. I wanted to go through that. I wanted to do that. And, so yeah, my babies, they don't ever want to come out on their own. They want somebody to make them come out. So we made it through the weekend. I didn't go into labor. Made it to the new scheduled induction day. Still didn't go into labor naturally. So I go in and start getting ready. So they start hooking me up to stuff and all of that. And I was so fidgety, like not fidgety, but like I was nervous. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want anybody touching me. I was tired of being touched. I was tired of it. I was tired of being touched. I was tired of being poked. I was just tired of it. And so whenever, it would come and check and I'm like clenching up real tight and they're like, calm down, relax, what's wrong? And they start asking me questions like, why are you so nervous? Like, why are you so, clenched up and stuff? And I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And so having to, be calm down and all of that. And, my husband and the boys, they went over to his mom's house. I think they're back. I'm not sure. We'll see. If it starts getting loud, then they're back. Because I want to record this video when it was quiet. If y'all watched the last video where I did the life update, then you know the whole story. What's going on. Because it's the same day. As you can tell. But anyway, so yeah. So my doctor, what she had me do was like, just look at her. Like, focus on me. And we're going to get through this. So I'm like, all right. So we get through it. We got to the point where I was ready for the epidural because the contractions was coming like. And so, so I'm like, when y'all gonna put this epidural in? Let's go. So I get the epidural. Because that was one thing too. I'm like, I didn't want epidural. I didn't want to go through any of this. But since I am, I don't want to feel this. Because induction feels way worse than, you know, just natural labor. And I was like, I don't want to feel this anymore. I've toughened through enough already. I'm sick of this. I'm tired of it. Let's go. So I get the epidural, and then I was able to just like relax. Like, oh gosh, y'all, I was so relaxed. So relaxed. And then my body was like, it's go time. It does that every time. Every time I get that epidural, boom, it's time for me to push. And that's what happened. So then I start the pushing process. We push, baby comes out, yay! And then it was like a whole nother relief. Like, that is my favorite part. That's probably for any woman, but for me, that is my favorite part of pregnancy, is that moment when the baby comes out. Like, that feeling is like an extreme feeling of relief. Like, my baby is here. All this pressure in my tummy, all on my intestines, this pressure on my lungs, this pressure on my back, all of it is gone. Man, my baby is here. Let me hold my baby, please. Like, that moment, like feeling the baby come out. Oh, I love that feeling. That sounds funny, but I love that feeling because that is the moment of relief. That is the moment that it is over. It is done. Your baby is here. You have worked hard these past several months. Your body has worked hard these past several months, and the moment has arrived. It is here. You have done it. It's done. So yes, so I had my baby, and he was just the cutest, precious little thing. And we had our baby. So with all of that being said, so I had my baby, and that's my baby. He is definitely my baby. Everybody tells them, like, when they bring him to me and they're like, there go your favorite person. My husband say it all the time. He's like, you see mommy, there go your favorite person. Because that is my baby. He know he is my baby. Baby number 3, Amir, he knows he's my baby too. Because he'll come and whisper it in my ear. He's like, I'm still your baby. I'm your baby. And I'm like, yes, you are my baby. The older 2, they my babies too, but I can't tell them that. I be like, you my baby. They're like, I ain't no baby. All right, fine. I didn't say you are a baby. I'm saying you are my baby. Because y'all are my babies that I birthed. Y'all, I birthed you, so now you grow and you become boys. You become young men, and you're going to become a grown man. Like, yeah, but you are still that baby that I birthed out. You just grew up, but you still my baby. You still that baby. Like, it's not like that baby just disappeared and now a whole nother person came. No, you grew into this new person that you are from being a baby, a newborn. But it's still you. You just grew. Anyway, so with all of that being said, I now present to you all baby number 4. Baby number 4, Azariel Yahuda McCutcheon, my baby. Everything on the bed for us. And now we're going to get a weight, and the weight's going to come up there. 2,600, which is 512.
512.
Yep. You keep it sure.
Got it.
Got it? You only shoot boys, apparently. So with that being said, I thank you all for staying for this whole video all the way to the end. So if you've made it to this point, yay, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that way you can see what's going on with this family of 6, me, my husband, and these 4 boys, as we homeschool, we eat plant-based, all this stuff, behaviors, all this stuff. Come on back. Hit that like button, hit that notification button so you will be notified of the next videos coming up, because I got a lot coming y'all's way. So with all of that being said, I will see you all in the next video, and always remember, enjoy the journey.